Pretty tough game. We needed one, and I thought that one would help us be less complacent and get going forward. Just get that hungry back in us. I thought we needed that. So it's always good to take one, whether we take one now than later. Just looking forward to the rest of the season because now we got that. I think we got that fight and that hungriness back in us.
Was it hard losing your first home game back in 5 games?
Yeah, it was tough. It's been a while since we've been home, so we wanted to come back. I thought we played really hard, so we gave our fans a great show. We got another one coming up this weekend, so we got to prepare this week for that one.
And can you run us through how that last quarter went? It was very tight.
It was very tight. The kids from CLE really came out, pushed us to the limits. It could have went either way. I thought they executed down the stretch really well. And, we just missed some shots that we usually make. So we have no worries in the locker room. It's just one loss. We can't hang our heads and things like that because we have a long season ahead of us.
Do you think complacency might have been a little bit of an issue here?
A little bit. But like I said, we got that hungriness back in us. We're going to get a good week of practice in. We got a doubleheader coming up this weekend that we're going to be ready for. So, like I said, just get ready in practice.
Obviously, it's another missed game for you. You've really been bitten by the injury bug this season. How are you, dealing with that?
It's tough. Good thing I have a 2-month-old. I don't know if you guys know I have a 2-month-old. Just talking to him really helps me a lot get through it because, you're talking to him, it just takes your mind off everything. So I really feel like he's helped me a lot throughout this because it could be tough. It could be mind-bearing and things like that, not playing. But, he has a strong dad, so I'll be ready for the rest of the season.
One thing that, you and Brendan and your teammates have talked about this season has been your depth, and it just wasn't there on the weekend, especially with you out. You get 3 points off the bench. How important is it for you to, get bigger performances when the games are tight?
It's very important. We still have a lot of faith in our guys on the bench because, without them, we can't. There's no championship in mind. We can't go as far as we want to go. So we just have to continue to build their confidence throughout the season. It really starts with practice, honestly. Just make sure those guys are ready and make sure everybody's ready in practice because, practice leads to games and things like that. So I just want to continue to make sure they're ready.
And from the sideline, what did you see change in that third quarter? Obviously, you're up 19, and then the quarter finishes, you're only up 6, and then they keep rolling from there. What did you see change?
Our lack of hungriness, I want to say. We took our foot off the gas. We're up pretty big. I thought, that changed a little bit. That happens. We were giving up some leads, but then we were able to finish our games. This time we just weren't making shots, and, we weren't taking care of the ball. And the defense, our defense wasn't really there one-on-one wise. That's things we can control. So, we look back, we go back and look at film. That's a lot of things that we can control, which is the good thing about it. Because, if we can control it, we get the win. So I would say a lot having to do with defense and taking care of the basketball.
And it seemed like, Jerry, someone who you're very close with, took the loss pretty hard. He had a really big game, hitting some big shots down the end. What do you talk to him about after the game to sort of lift his spirits and, help him out?
One loss, long season ahead of us. It's tough to go undefeated. You know what I mean? We would have loved that, but, it's one loss. He played a great game. We have a long season ahead. Let's get ready for the next one. We got a good week of practice coming up. That's all you can do. Can't hang our head on losses.
It feels really, really good. Obviously, it feels good to win all the time. I mean, you can't win every single game, but us being on a 2-game winning streak feels good right now.
And how was it to win at home?
Amongst the crowd, amazing. We probably have one of the most supportive communities, so it feels really, really good to have that support and the crowd cheering, and yeah, it feels amazing.
And Centre of Excellence was bottom of the ladder. Do you feel for them in this situation because you were like them just earlier?
Yes, I mean, we definitely know how it feels to, go on a huge losing streak in the very beginning, and it can get you kind of down. They're still a really, really good team, and they have a lot of good pieces. But yeah, it feels good to get that win, but we've been in their position, so we know how that feels.
And what do you think it was about your team that sort of clinched that win this week?
Second half defensively, that's what got us rolling. We started to help each other out. We were diving on the floor for balls, loose balls and stuff like that. And I think that gave us the momentum on the offensive end to go down and feed the extra person and hit those shots.
You got a lot of good production and good depth from your bench and from a lot of those younger girls. How important is it to get big performances from them?
Oh, huge. It definitely gives us it takes the pressure off of the older girls when you see the younger girls kind of step in and step up. So, I mean, they're doing awesome. We really appreciate that.
And Joy gets into a bit of foul trouble early, and then, Lucy really steps up. Can you speak a bit about what you saw from her?
Lucy's defensive performance was awesome. She was helping each other out. She was definitely helping the guards out, coming off the screens in the second half, and that's what we needed. We needed her to step up and kind of help us, and she got huge blocks towards the end of the game and even throughout the game, and that helped lead to other things on the other side.
It seems like you're really in a good scoring rhythm so far. You're putting up points. How comfortable are you feeling within this offense?
Really, really well. I think beginning we struggled with our offense, but now we're starting to get into the flow of things and going inside, outside, and then also getting huge buckets from our bigs.
First loss of the season, talk us through it.
Yeah, really disappointed. It doesn't matter whether it's first loss, second loss, third loss, but what's disappointing is, to do so well away and then come home and have the loss, but, some really good learnings and lessons, and they're a quality team. It was interesting. They brought in about 6 what they call NBA Academy players, so they actually changed their team. And so our scout, we had 12 players, and there was 6, 7 players there we'd never seen before. So in saying that, we had a 16-point lead, and towards the end of the second quarter, and had 4 turnovers in a row, which was really, really costly and killed our momentum, and I think gave them a sniff. And from there on, it was a game.
On Thursday last week, you talked about them being quite cocky. Did you find their confidence really shone over the weekend?
Yeah, look, it's something you do. I was in charge of the Centre of Excellence girls for 4 years, along with coaching the women. And, they're a young group, and you just spoke about them with Olivia. And what we try to do, as far as, even though they're young, whether it be male or female, we tell them not to back down and to stand up. So I know, and they did that. Those boys did a tremendous job. They played hard the whole game, and they didn't go into a shell when we got the lead. They just kept playing, and they got a good result. It was a good learning process for us in respect to the last couple of minutes. We made some errors that were very costly as well. We had the game won, I think, with about 35 seconds left, and that foul that put them on the line was really costly, and we shouldn't be putting ourselves in that situation.
And Marqueze was just saying that it's quite good for the team, so it'll make them hungry for the rest of the season. Do you think only good things can come out of this?
Yeah, well, you'd like to think good things. You want to learn from wins. I'd rather learn from wins than losses, but certainly, a loss hits home. And in respect to it was, the guys were pretty down after the game, and that's what I'd want anyway. I wouldn't want them joking and being happy about losing. So I think they're reflecting, and I think they can't wait to get out here. I wish we were playing tomorrow night, but unfortunately we've got to wait till Saturday before we get the next home game.
What did you see change in that third quarter? Midway through the third quarter, you're up 19, and then they finished the quarter on a big run. They're only trailing by 6.
Yeah, well, I think the damage was done probably in the second quarter. When I spoke about momentum change there, and as you say, we got out again in the third quarter. Look, I felt that there were a couple of times that we took it to them, and we probably tried to take on 2 or 3 players, and didn't release the ball and didn't flow into what we normally do. And I think the reason for that was we've been getting away with it. This team was a very, very long team. We're one of the bigger teams in the league. This team's bigger than us because all these young kids that get selected. I just talked about the NBA Academy. You're talking about 7-footers. You're talking about 6'10s. And I think that was a bit of an adjustment for some of our guys. I think under the normal circumstances, they could score, and they probably needed to make the pass. And we made bad shots are like turnovers. Like if you take some bad shots, just like you're turning the ball over, teams are going to run it down your throat. So that's a bit of momentum changer as well. But in saying that, you've got to give some credit to them. As I said, they were pretty resilient, and I think the fact that in the second quarter we let them come back from that lead, they knew they could come back again. And look, it was an interesting game. I know the coach got a technical foul at halftime, and it was really interesting to see that we didn't get calls as well in that third quarter. I think it was about 6-0 at one stage, and I think we've got to be good enough to play through that. But I think he definitely had an impact on the referees calling the game. I think in that second half as well.
And moving towards the rush, obviously, 2 wins in a row now. You've been saying throughout
I tipped 13 in a row, didn't I?
Yeah, you were saying with, throughout that whole sort of losing streak that they started with that, you know, once they got their confidence up and once they got healthy, they would be winning games. You know, how good is it to see them in form and getting?
I was wrapped. You know, I mean, I have a little bit to do with the girls, not a whole lot. I don't coach them. Eric, credit goes to Eric about that. But when you do have a little bit to do with them individually, their development and what they're doing, and as director coach, I was wrapped. And you could just see it. They were just, you know, they just lost a couple of games on the road. If Shanice had a play, they would have won 2 of those. And it would be a different ball game. But right now, they can win 2 this weekend. And it's no joke. I wasn't joking last week. You know, they got the win, and it's about confidence. And, you know, the starting group's really starting to get to know each other. You know, they're a new team as well. Olivia's new, Shanice is new, Lucy's new. So it takes a little bit of time, and they've had some close losses, but really pleased to see them get that win, and because they're capable of knocking off the Tassie team. I think it is they play this week. It's a tough game, and they're certainly capable of going back and up, and they're feeling good about themselves. And when you're feeling good about yourselves, it just makes it so much better. Really great team contribution. So really happy for them. Yeah.
Given Centre of Excellence is at the bottom of the ladder, how indicative is this that they've improved as a team?
Yeah, look, Centre of Excellence are on the bottom of the ladder, but like we talked about, the boys, you know, they've won half their games, and it's interesting looking at them, but the boys have the NBA Academy kids that they threw in for the first time, so they've probably got a bit more depth. But the girls, they've got a whole new batch of girls, like, so when you get and they're young, so, you know, we talked about our bench, they're young, about learning how to win, so they're learning how to win. They've been in games probably the last 4 or 5 games, and they haven't gone in with it. And they had our girls on the ropes, but credit to our girls, you know, the rush, how they came back. But look, they're going to knock some teams off. You just don't want to be the team to be knocked off by it. And but they'll get a few wins on the board before the season's over for sure.
And you were just saying before, you know, if Shanice was there, they would have won. Do you think the Rush have a bit of a dangerous reliance on Shanice being part of the team?
Not realistically. It's just that, you know, you've got that extra depth. Like the other thing we didn't speak about was Marqueze not being in our team the other night. I'm telling you, if you have Marqueze, we won't lose in that game, because, you know, Sam having to play and carry the team. But it's the same as Shanice. You know, they've got Georgia who can hold up an end, but it just places so much pressure on one player to play the whole game. You want to be able to give your players some rest, and, you know, they don't have the depth in that guard spot. At the beginning of the year, they were saying Georgia's coming off the bench and backing up Shanice. Well, Shanice being out so long, she's had to fill those shoes. And now it's actually created a little bit more depth where she's become, you know, an impact player with this opportunity. She's made the most of it, and that's increased their depth to the point where they can play Shanice and Georgia together. So, you know, but in saying that, if one of them goes out, the other one can carry the point. Yeah, the other kids you got out there, they might play 2-3 minutes, but they aren't handling the pressure of big minutes. And if they, you know, if they're out there for a longer period, it means they're playing really well. But it's just a big stepping stone for them. So, you know, you just need Shanice. I don't think they're reliable. They've got Liz. Liz has been shooting the lights out the whole time. You know, Lucy's the one that I guess has just been finding her feet with the team. She's a real talent. You know, as a 17, 18-year-old, unbelievable, 6'5", probably going to grow to 6'7", can shoot, as Olivia said, block shots. But what the team would love, and I'm sure Liv loves about playing with Lucy, she's smart, high IQ. You love playing with smart players. You're going to be in the right position, make the right decision. And so she's got she's got the world at her feet. She's going to go off to college for 4 years. And I think the other player that stepped up in the last quarter was Joy. That's the missing link is Joy. I think she has the ability to take over games, so she, you know, probably needs to be more aggressive on a consistent basis in taking over a game inside.